I'm just wild, do it just for fun.
He can write it, dance.
Everything about his fashion is amazing.
G-Dragon, love you.
He produces all his own music.
That's it. GD, baby.
G-Dragon, I think, represents the future.
Is that a girl or guy? He is currently the president of youth culture in Korea. Somewhere between a Ye and a JT.
G-Dragon is the leader of Big Bang.
Big Bang, it doesn't sound like a group. It sounds like some 40-year-old Korean dudes were throwing out random names. Big Banger! And then they just ran with it.
Who did they see in America that made them want to dress like that and dance like that?
Fantastic.
Oh, that is Lil Wayne.
If you don't know them, you should. I think their name fits them perfect. Everything that they do seems to make a big impact, not just in Korea anymore, but internationally. Obviously, Big Bang is G-Dragon, T.O.P., Seungri, Taesung, and Taeyang. G-Dragon, or GD, is the leader of Big Bang, and he really was like a prodigy.
Get your crayon.
The first time I ever saw him was when he was 13, and he wasn't just any 13-year-old. He knew what he wanted to do, and he was focused on doing it.
G-Dragon is known as a producer, a fashion icon, a rapper, he's a singer, he's a dancer. He's only 24 years old, he's a whiz kid.
But the average 24-year-old in America is on Twitter, pretending to have the life that this guy, G-Dragon, is probably really living.
Before he was G-Dragon as we know him today, he was Kwon Ji-young. His name I always thought was dope. His name is Ji-young. Young means dragon in Korean, so it's G-Dragon. I always thought it was a brilliant name.
This is the snitch that y'all ain't ready for.
He started off in the music business at a very young age. When he was a third grader, he first heard Wu-Tang Clan's Cream.
Yeah, probably at recess.
After he heard Cream, he fell in love with the record to the point that he kind of considers that almost like a holy piece of music.
So GD really got into rapping when there was this one summer. I think he begged his parents to go to this summer camp that was hosted by People Crew.
He got noticed by a guy named Lee Hee-sung, one of the main producers for a compilation album series. And on that album, there was a song called My Age is 13. It was like Korea's answer to a little Bow Wow.
Jinu Sean was the first artist out of YG, and Sean took notice of GD from this album and told YG about it, and that's when YG thought, you know, I want this guy here. So GD was signed to YG when he was 13, and even though he was super talented, he had to go through what everyone went through. Basically cleaning up after everybody, getting the water.
That's a testimonial, he paid his dues. I remember me in the studio too, bringing drinks for people, rolling blunts for producers, yeah, and myself.
Well, Youngbae, aka Taeyang, as the world knows him now, signed with YG at the same age, 13. I think GD was happy that, you know, he had a cleaning buddy. So I mean, they hit it off pretty fast. I think YG wanted GD and YB to be a duo called GD-YB.
GD-YB, that's a terrible name.
Like how you go to the GYN, I gotta go to the GD-YB. Like this is more than a yeast infection.
But then as time passed on, YG just, you know, he was thinking bigger scale. So instead of a duo, a group was something in a grander scale that he wanted to do with GD and YB being the centerpiece of that. They were just gonna have an open audition, and there was thousands and thousands of people. Out of all those people, they finally got down to 4. 강대성, 최승연, 이승연, and 이현승.
Those are like the hardest Korean names I've ever heard in my life. What in the world? That just sounds like you were trying to whistle or something.
I don't know. For some reason, I heard Condoleezza Rice. I have no idea why.
Talking about bullets passing by. Pew, pew. What the hell?
Taesung, when he first came, YG just, at first kind of like introduced him as like the ugliest one.
In Korea, they tend to be a lot more blunt. He was like, yo, Freddie boy, ugly dude, you got the bad breath. Come here, round up, don't think about it.
When we first heard him sing, it was determined like, okay, that is a very, very nice voice. He became like the most popular. I remember fans dropping off gifts for him and everything like that, and we're like, oh, this is for Taesung? This is for Taesung too?
Turn the lights off, make love to me, just sing.
T.O.P. He actually went in the audition because he was GD's childhood friend.
Top was an underground battle MC. He went by Tempo back then.
At first, YG actually was against T.O.P. coming in because at that time, T.O.P. was a little bit overweight.
If they're studying American culture so close, why wouldn't they want a fat rapper? Fat rappers prosper. Big Pun, Biggie Smalls, Rick Ross.
You can get rid of weight, I feel bad for the ugly one. You can't get rid of ugly. Well, you can in Korea, I guess.
After being rejected at first, he went home and he worked his butt off, and he actually lost 50 pounds. YG accepted him after that. Now Seungri, his real name being Lee Seung-hyun, when he first came in, he was like well known as being a predominant dancer. He even had his own dance crew. When Seungri was 14 years old, he was on this show, Let's Coke Play Mnet Battle, Shinhwa.
Let's Coke Play?
But listen, now you're really studying American culture. Because all our artists play with Coke.
So on that show, Seungri was eliminated. So YG noticed that and he became a trainee at YG. So it was set, GD, Taeyang, T.O.P., Taesung, Seungri, and the 6th trainee, Hyunseung, were accepted into YG, and they were all focused to make their dreams come true, but I don't think at the time they really knew how much their lives were going to completely change. So it was set, GD, Taeyang, T.O.P., Taesung, Seungri, and the 6th trainee, Hyunseung, were accepted into YG as a trainee. GD is the leader of Big Bang, and he really was like a prodigy from a really young age. So Taeyang also was signed to YG when he was 13, and when he first came in, he was this shy little kid. He was very religious even at that young age. He never even had a girlfriend, so his first kiss was even after he debuted, and it was on his music video.
People are buying into that. It's helping them to sell records. That's probably the most BS marketing scheme I heard.
But I'ma make love to
대승 얘기 꺼내지 마세요. 나 음악하는 거 별로 좋아하지 않으니까 찍지 마세요.
Daesung's parents did not approve. His father's a pastor, and they weren't having it.
In the beginning, Taesung, he had like a heavy heart.
아빠, 저 대성이에요. 이제 아빠한테 그동안 속썩인 거, 그런 거 진짜 꼭 크게 성공해서.
The Asian dads, once you see like them kind of taking the guard down, emotional stuff, K-pop, man.
T.O.P.'s real name, Choi Seung-hyun.
He has this amazing vocal instrument.
He was always into rapping.
He has this great bass in his voice.
He was even in the underground hip-hop scene doing his thing. Well, T.O.P., he was good at rapping, But one thing he struggled with in the beginning was dancing.
I mean, that sounds about right. Most gangsters can't dance.
이렇게잖아. 여기도 힘줘서 여기 멈추라고 네 힘으로 이렇게 덜렁덜렁 거리지 말고. 이거 어려운 것도 아닌데. 이거 어려워?
You can be a gangster rapper and not be athletic. Does Gucci Man look athletic to anybody in here? You need to start bringing the pistol in the studio. They're not gonna tell him to lose weight. They're not gonna call him non-athletic. Matter of fact, you're not gonna say nothing to him, but let him go in that booth and rap.
솔직히 랩 잘하는 것보다 춤 잘 추는 사람이 전 더 멋있다고 생각을 해요. 랩 잘하는 사람보다 노래하는 사람이 더 멋있고 노래 잘하는 사람보다 춤 잘 추는 사람이 더 멋있는 것 같아요.
Yeah, definitely dancers are not the coolest. I would say they're the least coolest. Rappers are the most outspoken. You're not gonna like diss me with a dance move.
I'm learning so much about these Big Bang characters. It's like an onion, mad layers. Slice right through it, you want to cry.
The sixth member at that time was Hyunseung. YG, he liked the kid and knew that he loved to do music. But at that time, YG's biggest criticism was that he always had like this blank stare.
No disrespect to any of the Koreans out there, but all of your faces look like blank stares. Every single one of y'all.
Look at the emotion in my smile. I'm gonna show you my happy face. And this is when I'm trying to be more intimidating. It's because it's layers, man. You just don't know.
Now Seungri, when he first came in, he was the youngest, so I think he was being a little hazed in the beginning by the older boys.
Are you familiar with Dongchim? Dongchim is like when you like go like this to some dude's butthole. That's like a hazing technique in Korean. I could imagine a lot of that going on.
물이 떨어져가지고요. 뛰어서 물뚜껑 끄고 있을 때 하는 말이 승현아 뛰어왔다 와.
So even though he was being hazed, he was confident with his dancing, so even in the dance studio, he would actually take the leadership role and even choreograph some moves for the other kids. YG, the CEO of YG Entertainment, was an artist himself.
So Young Hyun-suk had his fair share of being in the top of the game as a superstar.
YG having a musical background, he didn't just take a seat and be the businessman. YG basically mentored Big Bang himself, hands-on, and not just developed them in music, but developed them in life. Just like we always say, even with the albums that we came out, YG family, family. The reason we use that is because he is trying to make it a family.
If American labels had that model, we wouldn't have shows like Celebrity Rehab. People wouldn't fall off and then have to reappear on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Everybody on Bad Boy needed some type of life coach.
What you're describing with YG sounds more like a tribe, and that's pretty cool. I think it makes the artist feel more, trusted in the company as well. So
YG is all about the tough love. He doesn't baby you. He really does not baby you at all. Even during their training days, he let them know from the beginning that just because they were there, it did not mean that all of them were going to make it.
영배가 노래를 훨씬 더 잘할 거라고 생각했는데 일단 너는 기본이 안 돼서 너의
지원 같은 경우도 노래 연습 좀 더 많이 해야 될 것 같다는 그런 말씀이 나오셨어요.
So by the end of their training days, YG set a date to let them know what his decision was going to be, if it was going to be all 6 members or if it was going to be even less. So when D-Day finally arrived, I know the boys were nervous, but everybody in the office was nervous for them.
Damn, look at their faces. I can see what they're thinking. They're thinking about forging these bonds with their friends. It's supposed to be a family, right? YG family. So what happens when they see him in the street after? I'll be crying too.
지용 영배는 합격. 대성이 나와라. 대성이는 합격. 마지막 한 명은 큰 승현이 앞으로 나와.
YG dropped Seungri and Hyunseung.
Yo, just like that? I'm not happy about this.
But he explained that he didn't want to be too cruel to just cut him right on the spot. So they had a choice. They had a choice to pack their bags and leave, or he would reevaluate them a week later.
현승이하고 너를 빨리 결정을 해줘야 될 거 아니야, 그지? 내가 너한테는 기회를 주기로 했어. 응? 내가 생각하기에 현승이 탈락이야.
You just dropped him. Yeah, that's not fair. That's not fair. Yo, K-pop, not right, Korea. They showed this to kids? They showed it to teens? Yo, what is this show? A violent, oppressive tragedy?
Actually, no. This was not the last we heard of Hyunseung.
is what happens. You stay focused, you work hard, you keep doing those little windmills, you can get the eyeliner, you can put the jacket on. You see, kids, you never give up. Let's get back to Big Bang though.
So it was official, the final five: G-Dragon, Taeyang, T.O.P., Taesung, and Seungri. The YG decided to throw them a party at the office with everybody there basically congratulating him. G-Dragon let everything go and he broke down.
I'm sure the way he balled out there, it just hit him all at once that there were that many people really supporting him. You know, sometimes you don't realize that, you know, as you're living out your dream or pursuing your dream, like that's a privilege. And he probably felt that all at once when he saw the people around him that was actually making that happen for him.
힘이 풀리고
네.
너무 고맙고 이제 저희가 보답할 차례니까 이렇게 사랑받고 있다는 느끼니까 열심히 하겠습니다.
So it was official, the final five: G-Dragon, Taeyang, Seungri, T.O.P., and Taesung. Immediately, they went into production. The fans went crazy over it, and after that, they just never came down. They released a new mini album every single month after that. They were doing shows from morning till night because everybody wanted them. By the end of 2007, all of them were hospitalized for like exhaustion and like dehydration.
Once again, that's what it takes, you know. Jackson 5 had their Joe Jackson, and the Korean labels, they're the Joe Jackson.
So after the crazy 2007 year, they recorded their third mini album, Stand Up, with their title track Haru Haru. They really solidified them as a powerhouse. Besides just touring in Japan, they actually had a global warming tour where they toured all over Korea and generated $24.5 million.
That's a lot of money. I hope they actually put some of that money into global warming.
They won the Artist of the Year award at the 2008 Mnet Asian Music Awards, Favorite Male Singer at the Nickelodeon Korea's Kids' Choice Award, the Korea Broadcast Award for Best Newcomer, many more that I can't even name. In August of 2009, G-Dragon finally released his first solo album with the title song Heartbreaker.
I saw his face everywhere, like in giant billboards and posters, and Heartbreaker was probably one of the biggest songs in the country that year. I guess certain music critics and the reps in Sony thought that GD just straight play a jack Flow Rider's flow.
I mean, the irony of Flow Rider suing somebody for plagiarism, like Nelly could sue Flow Rider for plagiarism.
This was proving to be a difficult year for GD because even at his solo concert, he was criticized for public obscenity. They brought a bed out and there was a backup dancer on that bed and he was kind of like on top of her, dry humping, I guess.
In Korea, everything is so conservative that that's all we have. We're the kings of dry humping.
I mean, if he was found guilty by the Korean government, he would actually have had to spend a year in jail. Fortunately, GD was cleared of both the obscenity charges and the plagiarism. Heartbreaker actually won Best Album of the Year at the 2009 Mnet Asian Music Awards. Taeyang finally released Where You At and Wedding Dress, which were also huge successes. T.O.P. was cast in the drama Iris. Seungri and Taesung were hosts of the music show Music Core, even musicals. Taesung starred in the famous musical Cats. They were getting really big at this time. After a nearly 2-year hiatus, as a group, Big Bang released the album Tonight, which became the first K-pop album to reach the top 10 in the US iTunes chart, and the only non-English song to crack the top 100. So that same year, the group started their Love and Hope tour in Japan to help support the reconstruction from the tragic Tohoku earthquake. This concerned a lot of the Korean fans, and they actually started a petition to stop the agency from them even touring in Japan.
They're trying to do like charity work and they're trying to stop them from doing charity work. What's wrong with these demon children?
Well, I applaud GD for using his platform to try to get people focused on what really is important.
A salute to GD. That was a very valiant thing. And now he is become almost a hero figure to me.
So November 2011, Belfast, Germany, Big Bang took home the MTV EMA for Best Worldwide Act, beating out the likes of Britney Spears.
To many kids out there, Big Bang is the greatest thing of all time, more so than Britney.
Between 2012 and 2013, they released their 5th mini album, Alive, and with their first single, Blue, they topped all the major music charts. GD basically went on a hit craze. Bad XX, One of a Kind, Crayon. What impresses me the most is how they sustained it for so many years.
The bar has been raised very high.
I just think the songwriting is there, the beat selection is there. Just the fact that the driving force is one of the members, like he really knows the art direction and the musical direction, and he's very particular with it. I respect that.
Big Bang is already working with Lorianne Gibson, Pharrell Williams, Swiss Beats, Diplo.
It's not like, damn, I drop a mixtape and I have this song and it became a hit and now millions of people know who I am now. It's like, I sacrificed my prom life, you know what I'm saying? I sacrificed the high school life. I didn't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend for like 6 years and I'm finally on this stage, man. I ain't got time to waste. Like, I'm trying to keep it moving. And you actually want to put your money down for something like that.
Wow, fantastic, baby.
They're still very humble and they're still the same kids. You know, when I see them, I forget that they're so huge. And I think that's a testament to how humble and how much gratitude they have towards what they do. I commend them for that and proud of them for that.
그 춤추고 노래하는 일 하나가 제일 기쁨으로 뭉친 아이들이니까요. 여러분들이 그거를 기억해 주셨으면 합니다. 그게 저희는 되게 기쁨으로 생각하고 할 수 있는 게 그거밖에 없어요. 그래서 이 자리에 온 거니까 여러분들이 쉽게 안 봐주셨으면 하네요.